Just ignore my staring at Curie. So today we're gonna take a look at some settlement buildings. So I need to find a settlement that is not full of people. I think this one is good. So I'm gonna look a little bit at building a settlement, but more so building buildings. Getting stuff to work out. What do you do when the ground is uneven? How can you decorate it so it looks like a real place? I've already done a tour of my house that I built for myself before, so if you want, you can check that out. It's in the videos. But this time I'm gonna kind of go through the process. I was thinking about it afterwards, and I was like, man, I wish I had filmed it, because then people would be able to see exactly what was being done.
Hey,
so
over here.
Sorry, Curie, I might have to have you just stand here and do
Wait
nothing.
there.
Alright, cool. So, first things first, this ground is pretty flat, but when you're building, you know, all kinds of silly little things can get in the way. So it makes a big difference if you can make sure that everything is evened out. You don't got to worry about certain things. And the other thing that really helps, if you have your charisma high enough, is getting the local leader trait up to the second level. You'll wind up having the ability to build without having to carry everything around with you, and it makes a really big difference. It's a real pain in the butt if you gotta carry everything around all the time. You gotta try and bring a bunch of materials to a site to build something. It just makes it much more difficult than it really has to be. So if you you know, if you can, if you're especially if you're making a charisma build, then that's fantastic. There's no reason not to. Get local leader up to the second rank. You can set up supply lines. So basically, you just tell a settler, hey, you know, go here, and that's it. That's all it takes, and they're linked so that you can have all the materials you need without actually physically being there. If you're seeing here, I have 1,200 wood, because I just don't always pick up wood when I should, and 7,000 steel, and that's all from other settlements that are linked to this one. This settlement, I only just you know, just came here. I haven't built it out at all because I wasn't gonna bother. So I mean, that's all from other settlements, my couple of main settlements that are linked to this one. So it makes a huge difference. I recommend it. Even if you're not playing charisma build, I play a combat build. I don't talk my way out of stuff unless it's a really good experience. So you know, even if you're not making a charisma build, it's still probably worth your time to do. Okay, potted meat, sure, whatever. I'm just getting a little bit more wood, because it never hurts to have it. And this is why I'm always out, because I don't go and break it all down. Okay, 30 wood. There we go. Trees, just cutting them down. So, first things first. Most of the ground in the game is uneven. Most of the places you go, it's pretty crazy. You can't just build a large area of flooring. Now this area, like I said, it's pretty even. It probably would all snap together. The one thing that could happen if the ground is uneven, sometimes you'll still have pieces snap together, and if you haven't done any building, you'll see what I mean in a second. But it'll look like some parts are floating, and that really ruins the appeal. It ruins the look of it. So what you do is you make these shack foundations, and they're a little rough because they require concrete, but you only really need them at the bottom of whatever you're building, unless you're trying to do one of the castle restores. Some people have used it for that, but so you really only need it for the bottom. In this case, I'm gonna make probably a 3x3. I think I have enough space for that, just so that we have some space to work with. And then you see how it'll automatically snap down next to pieces already laid. So I know there's a lot of videos out there about this. I'm not going to go too much into that, because I know a lot of people have seen it. Basically, if you have any pieces, for anyone who hasn't watched these before for whatever reason, if you have pieces of a like type, the game is pretty intuitive with it. You know, these are all the same types of flooring, but even if I use a different type of flooring, it'll automatically place itself next to it flush other pieces of the same type. And there's some quirks with that we're probably going to see because they always happen. The one thing that you got to be careful of, and it can be really frustrating when you're doing a lot of building, is when you're trying to go through your menu and select things, you'll notice that if you're not, you have to be a certain distance away from everything, especially once you're inside, before it'll let you select things. So if I'm trying to select the floor, but I'm accidentally aimed here, it's gonna pick this up instead of instead of just selecting from the menu that I'm looking for. And so then you just want to hit Tab if you're on the PC. I believe it's B if you're on a console, or circle, whatever it is. Okay, so this is the basics. This is just gonna be our layout. And then you have a number of different types of walls to choose from. So these are obviously the wooden walls. You know, there's a huge variety, and they're all for different things. You know, if you're trying to make more of an open air thing, you can kind of use these. You can set up a full floor plan built out of these. You can make kind of a balcony all the way around. There's corner pieces that you could put out here. So there's a number of different things you could do. I'm going to make this pretty simple, and actually I think I'm going to use. So these are all the wood structures. When you first go into your menu, you go into structures, you go into wood, and it gives you all these options. All the stairs are wood. A lot of the anomalous structures like this are made of wood, so if you want to build something up here to put your towers on. And again, there's a few of these things that can be sunk into the floor. So this can be used kind of as a bridge, which is why it's called bridge. Duh, Michael. And it can be sunk into the floor, so it can be whatever level you need it to be up to, about the second floor, which is pretty solid. So you can build lots of different structures. I'm just going to build kind of a little tower here. Maybe we'll do a connection. I'm not 100% yet, but so that's just, there's a couple of different things you can do. You can make railings, fences, all kinds of things. Pretty much all the stairs are wood, and I did this again, and I always forget. Now, one of the other things that you'll really want to use, I pretty much, all the flooring is generally wood too, and this is one of the easier pieces to work with when you're making more than one story structure, is this stairwell. So what it'll do is it'll automatically snap into these larger floor pieces, and then it creates the upper floor as well, so that you can work from that to make the upper floor. So these are really fantastic, and every time I forget and build that middle section every single time. So we put that in there. So this will be the start of our second floor once we get to that. But first, we need some walls. I prefer the way that the metal walls look. So if you've seen, they have these prefab structures, and they get progressively bigger. There's quite a variety. You can kind of put things together just from prefab if you want. You know, you can make a little network or whatever it is you're looking to build. I don't really like the way these metal structures look. They're like rat warrens. They're too tunnely. I don't really like it. I like the wide open wood style more. But I really like one set of the metal walls, which is towards the end of the list here. There's a couple of nice flat metal walls. So these really fit with the type of structures that I like to make, and I like the way the outside looks a little better than the wood walls. So this is the metal walls. The wood walls look like this. So we kind of went through some of these. You know, there's some shorter walls that you can use to fit into pieces. There's these, which are kind of almost like sideways log cabin-y. They're not bad. A lot of the wood walls also come out, as you'll see here. They're not just flush to the floor itself. They actually come out a little bit. The problem with these is that if you try to link these up with the other ones, sometimes it'll look a little weird. So I'm a pretty simple guy. I usually go with the basic walls. The thing that I don't like about them is they just look a little more run down, especially once you have them up. So this is what they look like. It's getting towards nighttime now. Just look a little too rusted. It's just not the look that I prefer when I'm building. And so I usually work with something more like this. which I find looks a little better, especially when you have the whole structure made that way. You can use other versions like this. This isn't that almost corrugated metal. It's flat panels, but there's a lot more holes in it, which I was not a big fan of. And then there's these. So these are some of those that kind of come out a little bit, a little more rounded. There's every variety of wall that you could imagine. But we're gonna make this one with metal. So let's just put these up real quick. And then I think we're gonna make the door on the inside there. So here you'll see when you're making the corners, sometimes it takes a little bit of patience. You know, the wall naturally wants to progress the way that the rest of the wall's been going, and we'll probably see some examples later if I have to move anything around, or if I'm making any walls on the inside, just to give you an example. Where sometimes you have to be a little creative with the order you set things down in, so that they'll sit out nicely. Okay, so let's finish walling this out. Okay, now for the door. There are a couple different versions. This is the simple metal door. Again, this comes out a little bit from the rest of the wall. It's not too bad though. What I usually do is, because I build it with the foundation, I'll make a little stairway up to it or something, and it'll look a little more natural that it comes out. This is another one, but it doesn't really work when you're using the flat walls. This is more for the ends of tunnels and these curved metal walls here. And then you have the wood ones. So we have ones like this. It just looks, again, a little more worn down. It's a little more Raider house, and I was looking for a little bit more of maybe a Brotherhood house. And so, although, yeah, I didn't pick the Brotherhood. Anyway, so we're gonna go with this one here. And then when you go into the main structures menu, that's where you find the doors. You can make fences. So you can learn a couple of different kinds. These are some gigantic outer fences that you can make, and generally speaking, they use up a whole lot of your settlement budget. So if you look at the top right, there's that size meter. That's basically a meter of the number of things that are out in your settlement, and it's lower to prevent the game from lagging or crashing if there's too many things going on in a settlement. Now, that's more of a problem on console than PC. You know, if you have a kick-ass game PC, you could fill this with 10 times the number of things that they allow. And there are a couple of tricks that you can do to increase your budget artificially, essentially. If you want to look at those things, I'll probably go over a couple of them, but you just have to be careful with it. The other thing that you can do is you can put up fencing around your house itself. So this is a little more of a normal. What is happening here? It's a little more of a normal, you know, keep out the wild animals kind of fencing. So this is a wire fencing. It's almost like chicken wire kind of a thing. You can make a little gate on it, so you can get in, so you don't have to jump over it and be all ghetto. You can find a magazine that has picket fence, and I'm not going to go over where that is, but you can find this in one of the picket fence magazines. And so that this also has gate, and these are the various fence parts. They look a little beat up, but you know, you can make it. It wouldn't be too bad. The one thing with the fences is you'll see in the center here, there's that the individual post, and then these fences. So the fences all have to connect to a post. They won't connect to each other. So you have to kind of space it out. It can be a little bit of a pain. I may put one up at the end of this, depending if I'm feeling spunky. Anyway, so here's the doors. There's a couple of them. You know, choose whichever you want. Let's go with white. We'll be really plain with this one. Doors will only fit into these door frames. So, say for example, if I was to, you know, go to Sanctuary Hills, you know, you have all those abandoned houses. These doors won't fit in there. These will only fit into the door frames that you're building. And it's kind of unfortunate because it means those will always be stuck without doors, but it is what it is. So let's go inside. You know what? Let's make a little staircase. So if you want to make stairs, there's a couple of ways. You go to the wood stairs. So there's a couple of different types. You have these, which are really made to connect to flooring. These are really made to be more of an outside stair. You know, you can connect some of the flooring outside, bring this up to an outside balcony or something like that. And then you have these little step stool type stairs. You have this little shorter one, and then you have this. This is a longer one. Now these are able to sink into the floor and still be viable. So these are real good when you don't have like a set distance. When you did something like this with the foundation, where you didn't, you know, measure out a distance or anything crazy. I'm pretty OCD with this, but I don't go that far. And so you know, if it's higher up, then you use the taller one, and if it's not, then you can use the shorter one. The one problem with these is that sometimes you have to kind of finagle things to get closer. It can be a little bit of a chore. In fact, we may even just not even bother with stairs here because this doesn't seem to be working out. Let's try and see if we can do it with the longer stairs. Sometimes these work a little better for whatever reason. So the other thing you'll notice, sometimes you can't get a great view while you're doing this. So, oh yeah, that looks like that's all up in my house. That's not quite what I was looking for. So these look like they won't go low enough, and the other is too high. So I think we're just gonna go without stairs. Be a little awkward stepping up, but it's just like a big truck, right? Okay, so we're inside. Real basic. Let's go ahead and make the second floor real quick so we have a roof. So there are a number of different types of flooring. This is the basic flooring. This is really designed for the bottom set. If you put these up here, what you'll see is that it doesn't link up with the top of the wall, and so it looks a little gappy. I'm not a big fan of gappy. So there is, and there's a number of different types of flooring you can use if you want, you know, more of like a workshop vibe or a cheaper vibe, whatever it is you're going for. This is another type of foundation you can use. If you're running low on concrete, this is pretty fantastic. It just doesn't have the look that I usually like, but it works the same way as the concrete foundation, where it'll sink into the floor, and so you can choose how high up you want it to be. It's another useful one. Now you can see here, just to give you a quick example, that this is no longer wanting to link up with this concrete section. It's not snapping together anymore. Now the reason for that is because we have the wall there. So if I was to store this and then try and put this down, then it should be able to, nope, it's not wanting to snap together anyway. Let's see if that's just a function of wood versus concrete. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like those sections are not quite as interchangeable as I had expected they were. That's kind of a bummer. So you kind of want to choose then which one you're going to use. Now you can kind of theme it. You know, this is more of a city type vibe with the concrete. If you were in more of a beach area or something with water, this would be, you know, like to prevent tidal waves or something. You can theme it however you want. There's lots of ways you can do it. Let's put that wall back up. I'm sorry for my voice. I got a bit of a cold still. Okay. Sometimes the easiest way to get in is just grab it and then you know, walk through, and then, like I said, if you hit the cancel tab or square or whatever it is, then you're good to go. I feel like I'm missing something I wanted to say. I'm sure it'll come to me. Okay, so floors. So there's this is the other type of flooring. Now this is designed for the second floor of a given structure, and this one is going to have kind of a double deck so that it links up to the roof there, or to the top of the wall there, so that you're not, you know, staring at a big gap every time you try to walk around your house. Though I don't know about anybody else, but that would really bother me. Like I said, I'm a little OCD, but not too much. So, alright, so we got flooring here. Wonderful phone calls. It's fantastic. I will be right back. I may not have worked on that short. Yeah, just double check with it. Yeah. Alright, thanks, Carol. Work. Work is fantastic. Alright, where were we? Laying down roof. Okay. Alright, so we have our roof. Boom. And here's the inside of our little house now. Now you'll notice, especially if this stairwell wasn't here, that it's a little dark at night, and that's kind of a bummer. So, you know, we're gonna put some lights in. I'm gonna go ahead and do that now, so you have an idea of how that works, and then I'll show you how we have to arrange it, because when you're gonna do the next floor up, it'll be another thing that we'll have to do. So so what you're going to do is you're going to go to power. You're going to need a generator. Now if you're just making lights and that's it, then you only need a little generator. You could just do the basic one. Most of the lights don't require any specific amount of power. They just require that power is available, and I'll show you how to set that into the house. If you're planning on putting up turrets, or you know, whatever the case may be, then you'll need to look into getting some larger generators. You know, basic turrets don't require it, but laser turrets, shotgun missile, all that requires a little bit more. So I think, so what I like to do is make a little generator house, because I feel like you shouldn't have generators sitting out in the open. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little platform here. You know, and I'm usually more anal retentive about this, but I'm not going to measure it out. Sometimes I'll actually measure it out, believe it or not. And so we'll set some walls up here. You know, it's a generator room. It doesn't require the nicest walls, right? And then you're going to need to set up a door. Now you're not going to be able to set up an actual door in it, but you're going to need the opening because you have to run wire. So let's get a roof on this bad boy. There we go. Okay. So let's get our generator. I'm gonna build. I think I'm gonna build this one. Oh, might be too big. Oh, that's the large generator. So we're gonna build a medium generator in here. So that'll give us a little bit of play if we want to make some lights that need power, or a couple of laser turrets or something. Give us a little bit of room to maneuver. But it's also not going to break the bank, and you don't need to make a really big building for it. So I like to put, you know, you can put lights wherever. These are really great if you just want to put some lights around the house. So let's set a couple of lights on the outside here. Looks good, and we'll just hang a couple of these. So this is what I was talking about, as far as once you're in the structure and you're inside, it can be a little difficult in that, you know, if I'm here and I'm trying to hang up lights, I'm picking up walls instead. So you just want to back out until you don't see anything highlighted anymore. Aim for a free spot. You can aim out here. That works for me. And then once you select it, then you're good to go. So let's hang some lights in the corners like this. And so you'll notice that these lights are not powered on. You're not seeing anything coming off of them yet. So the reason for that, like I said, is there's not any power coming into the house. We have a generator. It is active, as you can hear, but there's not anything connecting to the house. So we know that we need to attach a wire, but we don't have anything to attach it to right now. Little tip, by the way, if you didn't know this, when you're attaching a wire to anything, if you see the sparking, that means that it's from a source that's powered. So if I was just attaching two conduits together, there would be no spark, unless one of them has been attached to the generator, and that's the one that I'm attaching to the other. So if you're not sure that you're attaching a power source to something else, make sure that it's sparking. If it's not, go back and double check that you're not missing something. So the way that we connect these to the wall is with these conduits. So you have these power conduits. They require copper and ceramic. So grab those plates and light fixtures and everything else, so you can make sure that you've got them. And then basically what you're gonna do is there just need to be various parts around your house. Sorry, just texting my buddies. We're going to be doing a Helldivers video later today, so. Okay, so what I usually like to do, oh my goodness, work is just not leaving me alone. What I like to do is I like to put them kind of at the corners, but if you want to, you can kind of, you don't have to be real pretty with these. You can kind of put them wherever. The main thing is that power. So what the power conduits do is they radiate power in a radius around them. So I'm connecting it to this wall. From here, there will be a section that's powered for things like lights. Now, if for whatever reason it's not, you notice that an area is not being lit up, and you have the conduits with power running from the generator, it probably means there's not a conduit close enough to it. So it's a little bit trial and error. I'm not super familiar yet with exactly how far the radius is, so you're gonna just have to figure it out for yourself. So we're just gonna put one on each wall. We'll see if that's sufficient to power our house. Now the other thing that we're gonna see is, and you can use different types of generators too. Now with this, it can be a little tricky because this wall protrudes, and so I'm going to show you how you can get around that as well. There are a bunch of different methods you can use, and we're going to use one of them. So let's put these. We'll put these right in the middle on each side. There you go. Now you're going to notice when we run the initial power. Okay, so we're good to go. You can only run cable within line of sight. Now there's a couple of ways around that. You can go through roofs usually, so from inside or whatever, but through walls pretty much never works. So if you see the wire is red like this, it means that it's not going to work. So what we have to do, because we're not in line of sight, is we have to kind of make a little stand here. So I usually use these power pylons, and so you kind of put these at the corners, and this works kind of like a satellite relay, so you can run the cable to the other side. So put these at the corners. Alright, so now the other thing is, if you're real anal retentive like me, OCD about where things are put, and making sure that it's all pretty, there's two ways that you can do things. Now I've noticed that when you're putting things down, you'll notice that the mouse click to rotate, or the left and right triggers, is a little sensitive. It's really hard to get that tiny nudge that you need, and for someone like me, that'll drive you insane. So what you can do is if you move to the side, then you'll see that it stays the same direction in relation to you, but it will change in relation to wherever you put it down. So sometimes you can kind of like move to the side and finagle it a little bit. You'll notice this a lot when you're putting down stuff like fences. You have to do a lot of that to make it all work out, otherwise you'll have big gaps. So now we can run it to our pylon here, and then from the pylon, see how we're seeing power the whole time? Now if I run it from the pylon, you'll see that it's not sparking, it's not a sparking line. So like I was saying, you can tell when power is running through it. Now we have spark again. Okay, cool. Now for the front of the house, we're going to have to do something a little different. So you can see if I tried to put a pylon or a conduit right here in the middle, that might work coming from the pylon. But if I tried to put it, say, on each side, the door itself is going to get in the way. So what we're going to do is, instead of that, we're going to run something a little different. So let's put the pylons in the corners here. And it's not necessary to have double connections. I don't need to run cable from here to here. I do it because it completes the symmetry of the look. If you're not, again, if you're not crazy like me, then don't worry about it. So there's a couple of things we can do. We could build one of these ridiculous large pylons or something, and then go to a conduit somewhere else. The other thing that we can do is we can build conduits on the walls on each side, and then we could maybe run a pylon. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to build the conduits right out here, which should be okay. So just put it under each light directly. Not the prettiest look, but not terrible. And really, this is the post-apocalypse. I mean, there's only so much we can do. We can't run cable in the walls. And so then you're just going to run it from conduit to conduit here. The one thing that I don't like about doing it this way is that it winds up where you're walking through a wire, which is not a pretty look. You know, but it is what it is. You can do it different ways. If that bothers you, you can run it, maybe build another conduit at the top over the door jamb here, and then run it up like this. So it would look something like this. And then you would, instead of running it the way that we have it now, you run it up to this one and then back down. You know, so at least you're not walking through a cable. I think we'll leave it like that. Looks a little weird. There's a lot of conduits everywhere, but you know, it works. Now you could probably run it straight there. It would run through the light, but it would probably work. It would just look a little funny. I just don't like the way that would look personally. Okay, so now we can see all of our lights are lit up. Fantastic. Let there be light. You can see everything now. Yay! Okay. So let's build, what should we build? Let's build a 3-story. I haven't built a 3-story before. Let's just do that for fun. So we're just gonna go back and do the same thing. Walls and then next set of flooring. Now the one problem that you'll find is when you try to build the second floor, obviously you have to have a stairwell in a different place. So you can figure out where you want to put it. I personally would probably put it something like here, going up the other way. It can make for some odd footing. So yeah, it just depends how you want to do it. I think that's how we're going to do it here. So let's get a stairwell in here. So we'll just run it this way, so you're not having to walk back over the same hole. And then get some more floor put up here. So the one thing you have to be a little careful about as you're doing this is it is really easy to fall off once you get to a certain height. So you want to be careful. So you're gonna have to back up a little bit. Now, on a PC, if you are making sure that you're aimed straight out, then you can mouse scroll, the mouse wheel, to increase or decrease the distance that something is from you. Now the other thing that you can do, obviously you look up and down and place it up and down. The other thing you can do is if you hold E, again on PC, it works a little differently on the console, and I don't have my controller over here right now. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a manager, and people don't know how to leave me alone on my day off. So, if you hold E, it'll let you move it independently. So I'm just moving the mouse now, and then when you use the mouse wheel, you'll go up and down instead of forward and back. So that's another option that you can use. Something that's pretty useful. Okay, so let's finish up our floor here, and then we will look at the walls. Now, the other benefit of a local leader is, and let's open up the perk chart real quick, that you can make crafting stations. So you'll notice that a lot of the various places won't have different workstations. So the first rank lets you make the supply lines that we talked about. Tired testing stuff. And then the second rank will let you build workstations. So if you find yourself at a settlement that doesn't have any workstations, you think you're going to be going there a lot, it's really helpful, again, to have local leaders so you can build those. You know, like I said, I don't play a charisma build, but I found it to be really helpful. So, all right, let's make our walls. Nice if we didn't reset every time, but that's okay. So with these walls, they all generally have some kind of a cross beam. If you want them to look uniform, just make sure. Sometimes they'll try to flip it around on you like this. So you can see this is actually what we have on the outside right now. So you just kind of move the mouse a little bit. You can also use the rotate function and just kind of play around with it, and you'll get it to face the way you want. Okay, so here is our. Oh wait, I was all set to build another floor here, and that's totally not what we were doing. Okay, so this is our third floor. Now, there's, like I said, a number of different things you can do. I'm going to, I think, make a little balcony section. So we'll look a little like a mushroom top. It'll look a little funny, but that's okay. Just to give you an idea of the various ways that you can do things. And so, let's see, what should we use? Should we use this one? Yeah, we'll use this one. This will give you a nice little shooting platform. You're going out from your house. So it'll be almost like a huge house / guard tower. So this is what I was talking about. Sometimes things will be a little awkward linking up. Just gotta play around with it, and you'll eventually get it to set where you want. I find myself backing up into stairwells a lot. Just be careful with that. And again, try not to back off the roof. 3 floors probably won't kill you, but it, you know, nobody likes having to fall off of roofs. Be nice to your vault dweller. So we can see here, settlement budget is going up as we place things. And so you will notice that it does definitely increase. You have to be a little careful, and again, there are ways around that. And I'm probably going to use one, depending on how much space we're using up here. But so we'll use this one. So this will be closed off in the corners, just because I don't like having a full open edge in the corners, and most of these corner pieces do have a full open edge, and that's really easy to fall off of. That'll really bum your trip if you're trying to shoot from your sniper platform up here, and then all of a sudden you have super mutants that are attacking you with melee. So here we are. We have a nice little view all the way around. And then so there's a couple of different types of roofing. We can use metal roofs. These don't really work right. You can use them, but they make kind of a weird like rose type of thing. And then you'll see you have this opening there along the edge. These are again made for those rounded metal walls. Or you have these flat metal walls. I think we're going to use these just because they use a little less wood. And as you can see, I have a lot more steel than wood, so. So one of the other downsides of using the all-metal walls is that they don't have anything like the balcony system that the wooden ones do. So you have a lot more versatility when you use the wood. And again, you can see it looks a little like a little mushroom top. Yeah, the one downside with the metal is they don't have the ability to do things like this. But I think that it looks alright. Okay, so we have power here on the first floor. Now, we don't really have power on the second floor or the third floor right now. So, what we're going to have to do is we kind of have to link up the existing conduits with the next floor. So we're just going to do the same thing. And we'll put these up here. And then what we can do is, we don't have to go with going around the corners anymore. All we really have to do is just link them with the one directly below, because we already have it covered on the corners. Everything is getting power together, and so all we're going to do is we're just going to run power directly up ahead. Here we go. See, it's crooked. It's going to bother me. Just going to have to move that. There we go. There we go. It's better. Okay. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm gonna let him go. I'm gonna let him go this time, guys, just for you. Okay. So there we are. Now with second floor has power. Third floor is probably not gonna have a whole lot of power right now. Now we can, because we built this balcony section, we can try and you know, radiate it out onto the outside of the balcony there. I don't really like the way that looks, so what we're going to try and do, and it should cover everything. In fact, it's probably even overkill, but that's okay, is we're going to use these. So we have connectors that are conduits that are made to go on top, conduits that are made to go on the bottom. So what we're going to do here is we're going to run on the outsides another set of conduits. Oh, you know what? In fact, let's just run them right in the corners. And these are really just to make sure that we're getting as much power as we can up to the top. Because this is only a 3x3 structure, I'm pretty sure that we'll be good to go even without this. But I'm big on just in case. Now I've also, you know, I'm level 50 now, I've beaten the main story. I have a lot of materials. If you're running a little lower on materials, you know, it's really easy to cut out the power. It's not necessary to do all of that if you don't want to. You know, or just lighting certain areas. You know, there's a number of ways you can do it. If you are going through the, you know, still going through the main story, you don't have a lot of materials, you know, make a few more trips back. The junk makes a big difference. You know, I collected a lot of junk when I was running through the game, and now I can kind of build things without too much worry. I have, you know, lots of materials on hand, so it makes a big difference. Okay, so here's what we got so far. Here's our little place. Let's go inside. So we have first floor, or our second floor, and then our nice open third floor here. Okay, so let's put some more lights up, just so we can make sure all the power is working. Now, there are other kinds of lights. You can put up ceiling fans. These are fun. There you go. We can see they're all nice and lit. They don't provide quite as much light. The light bulbs, the hanging light bulbs, actually provide more light than anything else. We have these lamps that we can put up. These are pretty much a directly under is where they're going to illuminate. We have, this is one of the other things you can pick up from those picket fence magazines, these high-tech lights. I'm actually not a big fan of them. They look a little pretentious to me, but if you like them, great. Let's try and see. Yep, so we do have power up here. Good to go. Fantastic. Now, now we have to figure out what are we going to do with these rooms, right? So here's what I'm thinking. First floor, maybe we put a bit of furniture. Maybe we can make this into a little bit of a kitchen area or something. Second floor, kind of more of a bedroom area, and then you know, third floor, we'll put our crafting up here. Now, if you're one of those people that's gonna, you know, kind of port in and out just for crafting, one of the really great things that you can do, and I lose this all the time, but I'm hoping it's here. Nope, it's not. It's under furniture, maybe. Is it's welcome home mat. Where? Oh, there we go. See, I just did it. Took off my flooring, just like I was saying. Gotta be careful. There we go. Alright. So under resources and miscellaneous, there is, well, you can make a scavenging station. So that's basically whenever you have your people do their scavenging thing, you just get more of it. And it has to have somebody assigned to it. You can make a bell. So this is a thing that will call all nearby settlers. And a siren which alerts everybody to danger. And you can set up various ways of tripping that. But what we're looking at is this fast travel target. So this is pretty fantastic. What it does is it causes you to fast travel to wherever it's put down. So when you fast travel to that location, so when I fast travel to this settlement, it'll spawn me wherever this mat is. So I'm going to put it down right inside the door. So I don't even have to worry about opening the door. I'll just teleport to the inside. And then, you know, if I need to craft, I can just run upstairs. Now, if you're mostly just going to be crafting here, which it's probably most of us, then you can put it up here. That's not a problem. And then that way you'll just teleport right into here. You're good to go on your crafting. So there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. So let's try and see if we can make this into a bit more of an actual house. But first, because I'm noticing that we're running a little low on on space. So here's the trick. I'm playing on a pretty high performance PC, so I don't worry too much about it. But if you're not, perhaps consider not doing this. It may cause problems if you're using a console. It might crash out your system. Basically what you're going to do is if you drop your weapons, so I'm going to drop these on the ground. So these count towards your size. Anything that's put down counts towards your size. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go into the menu and store these in the workshop. And you can see as I'm doing it, the size actually goes down just a bit. So let's pull my weapons back out. And we'll drop them again. So now keep an eye on this on the upper right on the size there. You see that it goes down just a bit with every weapon that we store. So I have a lot more size than I did. It's kind of a bug in the system. Be careful when you exploit bugs. They can cause all kinds of problems to your game. So that's Surgeon General's warning for this one. Hello, Quirky. I'm sorry. You can come inside. Well, no, you gotta wait outside for a bit longer. Okay, so now let's see. There's all kinds of different things you can make to make your house look a little more home-ish. You have your miscellaneous. You have stuff like your bathtub, your bobblehead stand, which I actually have up in my other place. You know, you can make a toilet and all of that kind of jazz. Now, you can't make a refrigerator, which is kind of a bummer to me. I feel like you should be able to. But you can. So we have to kind of improvise. What I usually try to do is I'll make kind of I use this cupboard with maybe a cabinet under, kind of a thing. And then you can throw a couple of these coolers on top of it. Alright, so truth be told, it's actually easier if you make the coolers first. This is the same thing I did the first time. And the cabinet really likes to bug out when you're putting the coolers down. So you know, you make a couple of coolers. It's kind of like your kitchen area because you can't make a fridge because this is the apocalypse. You know, so fair enough. And then you can throw your cabinet back up afterwards. So we'll throw this back up here. And it's kind of kitcheny. You know, it's makeshift kitcheny. And that's what you would use. And then maybe you could throw out, you know, we'll put a counter here. This separates this area a little bit from the, oh, what just happened? What did we do? It looks like our counter just fell through the floor. Okay, let's try this again. So remember I was saying that there's bugs sometimes. This looks like one of those things. So, like I said, be a little careful when you exploit bugs. Even on a high-performance PC, bugs are bad. So, put up our counter here. You know, looks kind of kitcheny. Kind of a kitcheny counter. And then, you know, complete the look, I like to put up like a cooking station. Anybody who saw my other little tour is going to notice this is very similar to that one. Well, that's because, you know, I'm kind of a boring, do it the same way kind of guy. So there. Okay. Alright, what is going on here? Stop messing with me, Fallout. I don't like it. Alright, so we'll put our stove here. Voila, you have a kitchen-ish. Okay, and then, what do you think? Maybe we put a couch here, something. Where would we watch TV? If our kitchen is there, we'll watch TV on this wall here, right? That makes sense. Let's go with trendy. Do some trendy couches and stuff. So maybe we put like a couch here. And then do like a chair here, that. Put out maybe an ottoman. Only this guy gets an ottoman. And we'll put out a little coffee table kind of deal. There we go. Okay, and then we have our furniture. So if you get these bugs where it's not letting you go side to side, all you gotta do is exit out of the building menu and then come back into it, and it'll pop you back in. So we'll set up our TV here, and there you go. We got the whole living room, can watch some TV, and so can the guy cooking in the kitchen, which is, to be honest, that's what every house needs, is a TV visible from the kitchen. Make your wife a happy person. Or husband, whoever does the cooking, whatever. Okay, cool, so that's that. Now, you know, this is where we first come in the door, so what else would we want to have in here, guys? Let's make a little bathroom, maybe. Yeah, bathroom downstairs. Should we make a bathroom in the bedroom? Nobody wants their bathroom in the bedroom. Maybe we'll make another one upstairs. So here's how you can put down internal walls. So the only real walls that are going to work are these kind of smaller walls. You're not really going to be able to use the larger, you know, the ones with like the door frames or anything that has to come out or anything like that, because they're all a little taller. So these are mostly the walls that you'll be able to use, are these kind of flatter walls, which is cool. I prefer these anyway. And you can't make doors inside, which is kind of a bummer. I know, I was bummed too. So what I usually do is I'll go with kind of one of these walls here, like this. There we go. Alright. And then what I'll do is I'll make kind of one of these walls a little, coming in a little bit, so that it looks a little like a door that's been opened, you know. Or you can make it coming out, you know, if you want to use up space in kind of a more intelligent way. You know, it looks a little more normal. Clears up some of the empty space. Then you could do something like this. And so you kind of just have to find the side that's going to work. Each piece has a you know, various things protruding from the sides that like to clip. And you just find a way to make it fit. So let's see. Come on, don't be like this, Fallout. Alright, well, you get the idea. So we have a door going in here. Go into our miscellaneous. And, look, we have a toilet. Let's make a little toilet here in the corner. Or actually here on the side. So you have some privacy. Even though the door doesn't close, we have a little bit of privacy, which is nice. We like privacy. What else would go on in a bathroom? Well, maybe you have a little some shelving or something. Yeah. Let's be honest, bathrooms in the wasteland are going to be a little sparse, and that's okay. All right, so let's go with that for now. We'll have to find something to put in here. I put a Nuka-Cola machine down in my other house. Which is cool, you know. Put some Nuka-Cola in there. It looks good. So let's make this. This will be the bedroom, and so we want a bed. I really don't like that first bed. It just looks dirty. That's gross. So let's put the bed down. You know, maybe we want a nightstand. Let's see. This is the only thing that really looks like a nightstand that I've found, at least. Alright, cool. So we have a nightstand. And then maybe, let's be honest, you're in the wasteland. Probably need a wardrobe somewhere. So we'll throw that up over here. The other thing that you'll notice, guys, is that these fans hate furniture. They will bug out your furniture all day long. This bureau kind of goes up into the ceiling. Not a big fan of that look, but, you know, whatever. And then maybe we want a desk. So, where will our office space be? This looks like a good spot for some office space. And then maybe we have just a basic dresser over here. You know, you need a dresser. And then, you know, we have our ceiling fans, but a real house, you know, you're going to have lamps. So maybe we put up a lamp next to the bed, maybe. I kind of like this one. It's a little big, but I kind of dig the style. So we put one of these lamps here. You know, it's always on, but we could put switches downstairs or something. There's lots of things you can do. You can throw up one of these power switches. You can connect it to your generator, have it turn it on or off, or whatever you want. Lots of different things you can do. So let's see. Maybe we want some artwork. We can use trophies. You know, you need to have whatever kind of trophy it is. Some skulls or teeth or whatever it is. You know, all the different mounted trophies have different things. You know, put up a mole rat. Put up a mole rat over my bed. I'm that kind of guy. But whatever. Mirelurk. I think the Mirelurk goes downstairs. Maybe up here. This little trophy. And we put up a painting. You know, some peaceful to look at while I'm sleeping. That's nice. And, I like the ocean. And then let's see, I went with the Institute, so throw up the Institute flag, and then I also kept the Minutemen, so maybe we'll throw that one up over here. Everybody knows you got posters all over your house. That's how that works. Oh, we need a chair, don't we? Can't have a desk without a chair. Let's make a little desk chair here. Going with kind of a red theme for the day. Alright, cool. And then maybe you want to have just a place where you can kind of sit and relax. So you might have a couple of chairs. You know, it's kind of a sitting room vibe. You know, maybe if you want to just sit down and read a book for a minute, or you know, talk to whatever companion you decide to make whoopee with, whatever the case may be. Nice little table. They're all too damn tall. Well, maybe instead of that, then we put up a side table over here. Goes under the painting, you know. Kind of sit close to it, you put your drinks on it, whatever the case may be. Little intimate seating area here. Alright, looks good. Now I tend to put things up against walls. Don't be afraid to use the rest of the floor space. It's just less things for your companions to get stuck on, which I found to be kind of a big problem. So, you know, like I said, lots of different ways to do things. Okay, and then now we're going to build our workbenches. Let's build the armor here, and maybe put up a chemistry station. So we put that up. Well, now I'm partial to having all the different workstations on a different side. And then what I like to do is set up other things around it. So do that, and then we gotta put our power armor somewhere, right? So let's set that up here, and then you know, maybe we want two. Maybe we want two sets, one for us, one for our companion. So boom, you got your two power armors there. And then you know, I'm seeing that it looks a little bit crowded with the power armors there, so maybe we move these over. Do things a little differently. There we go. Alright. So, you know, this looks great and everything. You have all your crafting stations. That's really cool. Now, the thing that you really need to do to make something look real, look lived in, is to have all the crap. You know, people accumulate crap. All of us do. So, you know, I don't have a lot of junk on me right now, but one of the things that you'll have, you know, because you're accumulating all this crap, is places to put your crap. So let's see, armor, you're going to probably have some foot lockers, maybe a metal box. You know, so you got to have some place to put your stuff. Maybe a steam trunk, that seems like a good place to put your armor, right? Steam trunk here. So I'll put it right there. And maybe you have a suitcase on top of it, because for your other clothes. Cool. And then maybe you need a tool chest for your weapons, because yeah, you gotta fix them somehow, right? So you got that. Okay. Seriously, guys? You guys need to figure some stuff out on your own. That's cool. And then, you know, we always see chems in these boxes, so maybe we stack up a couple of those bad boys. And, maybe this is where we keep. I like to keep like my stealth boys and stuff with my chems. So cool. Maybe we put that in there. And then, maybe we want to keep our weapons in a couple of foot lockers. That works out okay. So we stack them up like this. And then maybe you want to keep your recipes in a nice big filing cabinet. Excellent, good to go. And you know, sometimes while you're busy crafting all day, you just want to kind of chill and sit down for a bit. So we'll put a little couch. There we go. It's kind of like a mini couch. You just kind of chill and do your thing. Alright. And then, where is... Well, pool tables are fun, but just a basic functional table. You gotta lay stuff out on. You know, maybe you want to do some shelving. That's a thing you can do too. All kinds of different style of shelves. You can have racks, you can have shelves. Yeah, I'm kind of partial to the shelves. I think I'm going to throw that there. Let's put that right here. Place to display or stack stuff when you're busy, whatever. And then maybe we keep our food on here or whatever. We gotta kick back. Well, maybe we put a TV on there. You gotta do something while you're relaxing, right? All right, and that's it. That's our work area. So now when we're putting down stuff, you know, we have all of this furniture and everything, but we don't have, you know, that lived-in quality. And so what I like to do is, you know, you have, okay, so we have this. So let's put some cleaner on it, because that's the kind of thing that you keep in your bathroom, right? Keep some cleaner in there. So let's stack up some cleaner. Boom. All right, great. What else would we keep in there? I don't have the biometric scanner. Yeah, this is the apocalypse, so you might keep your cigarettes in there. That's cool. So let's put those on here. Great. You know, so what you're gonna do here, guys, you're gonna go into. Okay, that looked like a big explosion. What just happened? Maybe nothing. Maybe it was nothing. It's just
hey,
just the weather.
Come on.
Nothing major. Curie, why don't
Go
you
check that out.
Okay. So, what you're gonna do here, guys, you're gonna go into your inventory and basically you're just gonna go to wherever you want and drop it. So let's say, you know what? I think we need a desk fan upstairs. Let's put a desk fan on here. So you're just gonna go here, you're gonna drop it, and then you're just gonna hold your use button, and that will let you pick things up. And then you're gonna kind of have to finagle it around. Some things are pretty reasonable, and some things are very not. So you gotta figure out what kind of thing, whatever it is that you want to put up is, and then make it face whichever way you want. And then you gotta be really careful not to mess it up before you get it down. And it's a trial and error. It's a learning process. Once you can get it going, that's how you get that lived-in quality. You know. So let's say I have this announcement script. This looks like the kind of thing that I would have on my desk. So maybe we want to put that down. And you kind of have to use things to knock it around and get it to be the shape that you want. You can kind of drag it along the floor or a surface, and sometimes that'll work. You pretty much just have to bang it around until you get it to look the way you want it to. This is actually upside down, but nobody will be able to tell the difference. And look, it's something that I was working on. Great. Maybe I want to read some Grognak before I go to sleep. Except that my Grognak is burnt. So here it is. Here's a Grognak. Okay, great. So I want to read some Grognak before I go to sleep. Maybe I'm just going to take this and I'll put it on my nightstand. Because, you know, put it there, I read it, start falling asleep, boom, put it down, go to bed. Great. There's a lot of different things that we can do here, guys, to make it look a little more lived in, a little more livable. If you have any food items, you know, stack it up. That's great. So that's all of that. And that's kind of what the house is going to look like. Now, for defense, you obviously want to, you know, set up some turrets. So let's do that. Let's set up a couple of turrets somewhere. I like to put them up high. You know, the higher up they are, the better field of vision they have. So, you know, maybe I'll put them up on my power generation station here. Put up a couple of turrets. Great. Nobody is going to be getting at me from that side. Absolutely. You can also build a couple of ladders if you want to get up to your roof to put things down. Now, in my case, that's not really going to work out with the way that I built this roof. So your other options, you can build out flooring. I did that on my other house, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over there again real quick after this to give you some examples that I'm talking about with the lived-in quality. But so if you remove the walls here, you could set up some outdoor flooring as a kind of a platform for it, or you know, just put them on the ground. They'll shoot stuff from the ground. That's not a problem. Set them out. Now again, I built the larger generator, so we can also do things like a laser turret. Going up. In fact, let's put up a heavy laser turret. Let's put up one of these bad boys. And we're going to put it on this side because that side is pretty covered. So say we put this up right here, and then we just run into one of the generators, run into one of the power pylons, run into one of the conduits, whatever the case may be, and it will absolutely power it up. There you go. We got 49 defense. That is a lot of defense. We are covered. Okay. Now this place, I don't have any settlers here. But let's talk a little bit about setting up food and water. Alright, so when your settlement gets attacked, they can do stuff like knock out your resources and require you to repair them. That happens with mostly if you're not there to defend it. So if you get there to defend it, you're good to go. Usually that's not going to be a problem. Now we have things like this that we can set out. Water generation, water purifiers. The big water purifiers are a little finicky. They require you to have a pretty big open space, but it also has to be kind of near land, and they require you to have a generator out there. So this one only requires 5 power. We could build a generator next to it. You can just put this out like this, and then just build a quick generator here. And there you go. Boom, we have 40 water. You can see it up there. Water is pretty easy to deal with. Food, on the other hand, is a little more difficult. Now, you can, of course, plant your food. Now, if you're going to do that, what I like to do is I like to set it out with some fencing. So I'll build one of these like wire fences out. You'll find a nice little area, and because it has to be planted in the dirt, you have to be kind of careful where you put it. You can't go with building the platforms like we did with the other things. So you kind of have to be careful where you're putting this. And then usually you kind of want to have a gate of some sort. And the gate is really where it gets difficult with these wire fences, because a lot of the time the spacing is not quite right. This time it worked out perfect. It's kind of small, but it'll work. And then you just want to plant your food inside. So, that's obviously a thing that you can do. Now, the one thing to remember is, and obviously this is all pavement, I'm just giving you an example. Here, you just plant the food, boom, 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 boom. I'm not planning on having any actual settlers out here, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. Now, the other thing that you can do is, when you collect the various foods, if they are linked, if you have your settlements linked, those count towards food resources, even though it's not going to show in your meter. So if I had settlers here, my food would not be red, and the reason for that is I have enough food stored in my storehouses, and this settlement is linked to the rest of the network, that my settlers would have food, so we'd be okay. Now, if I didn't have that, then I would need to go about the planting. Each thing that you plant is only going to be worth half. So if you have 15 settlers, you need to have 30 types of food planted. So you need to kind of measure out a space accordingly. You could just plant it in the wild, but it works a little better to me to have it set out here. And then you also have to have settlers assigned to those. I think each settler can do about 6 or 8 plots of food. So there you have it. That's kind of how I build my crib. Yeah, there's kind of a gap here. The staircase doesn't do that double thickness thing that the rest of the roof flooring does. So it's kind of a bummer. That's why I try not to put it anywhere but in the center. But if you have two different staircases, it just won't really work on top of each other. So plan accordingly. You know, if you want to make a third floor, maybe make a wider base. However you want to do it. And then the nice thing about having all these is it lets you store your things separately if you want to. Like if you want to store certain armor sets, maybe your companion armor sets, items that you want to have but you're not using, whatever the case is, you can do that. And so that's kind of just how you build your house, how you build your settlement. If you want to make a whole settlement, you can. Let's say I wanted to build kind of a walkway. Maybe I want to have another structure somewhere. So let's say I wanted to make another building. And maybe I could go with making one of these bridges. You know, I can connect everything up. Make a bridge from one to the next so that I don't have to touch the ground. You play the ground as lava. You have tons of options for what you can do, so play around with it, but these are some of the basics. And now I think I'm gonna head back to my place real quick so I can show you a little more of what I meant by having things down. Now, for some reason when I beat the game, it seems that something came and shook up everything in my house, so all my crap is all over the floor, which is kind of a bummer. But you should still get an idea of what I'm talking about as far as, you know, having items down, having it be a little lived in, you know, and that look that we're going for here. So, a minute now. Alright, so as you can see, I have my mat here, so I teleport right into my house. And here we have, this is my workshop area, and I have some guns down on shelves. You can absolutely drop weapons and place them down. And I have my armor sets up here, I have my bobblehead stand. And then I actually use these, so I have extra you know, types of clothing and stuff like that, almost like RP type stuff in here. I usually keep my companion armor in here, and then I'll keep my armor in here, just so I have them separated. If I'm going in power armor, I won't wear armor, because that's just extra weight and you don't get the bonuses. And then I made up here just the power armor room, and this room is actually separated from the rest of the house, so you can't get into it from the second floor, just because I felt like why not, you know, do things a little different. So I just keep different sets, different paint jobs, whatever. And then so we have our Nuka-Cola machine, and these were all nicely standing up, but they got knocked down. My little kitchen area, I have an eatertronic in here, and I have my coolers. I had all my food nicely stacked up, but those got knocked down too. Fantastic. I have my cups over here. I have my pool table. It seems like apparently the explosion was on that side, since all the balls are over here. But we have, you know, we have the trophy. It's kind of like a bar atmosphere almost. I don't know why these fans aren't spinning. And a couple of tables. Had some Nuka-Colas on them. I made like a little lounge area. You know, put some plants up, some decorations. Have a jukebox. You know, somewhere to sit and chill. A couple of tables, that kind of thing. And then upstairs, I made a couple of bathrooms, mostly because I had too much space on my hands. So these I left pretty plain. I haven't done the full decorating there, and those were the last I did. And then this area is kind of empty as well. And then here's the bedroom that I made. So I have very similar. You know, we got a sitting area with the TV. We got flags up. We got a desk over here with a radio. You know, and then the bedroom. So this is kind of what I did. It was a lot neater before everything got knocked down. And then when I was building it, I set up these sections here. So we have turrets up here, and we have lights pointing outward at each corner. And then we have heavy turrets by each door. And then we have our generator room. Then I made this room just for beds. I made this building just to have beds. And then my doghouse, because of course dog meat needs a house. And that's been pretty good so far. I put up a couple of turrets over there because I could. I actually had a vertibird fly overhead, and my turrets took down a good bit of it by themselves before I even got outside. So it makes a big difference. Yeah, I've had these turrets kill a couple of deathclaws. They're pretty beastly. And then I've had companions that'll run in, grab my power armor, and run out and fight any incursions. So the place is well defended. It's got the look that I was going for. It's got all the space in the world. I probably could have made it a little smaller actually, since we got a lot of empty space. But that's it. That's how you do your building in the wasteland. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment on a page or something. Follow it if you like the video. And I think that's about it. Thanks for checking us out, guys.